All right.
Yeah, there you
Cool.
go.
There you go. All right. And we're going to go live. All right, guys. What's going on? I'm here with my buddy, Chris Wainwright. Wainwright and I hate saying Chris, really. Wainwright and I, because we go by last names in the Army, or usually in the military. So, yeah, Wainwright, or Sergeant Wainwright. What's going on, brother? You okay?
Yeah, we're doing good.
So, I had Wainwright. We did a podcast, about a year ago, man?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and, I found... well, he's always been an interesting guy. He always has, welcome to the podcast again, but... So we had a good, back and forth. So I talked to him, a couple of weeks ago, and I told him, hey, dude, we need to do another one. So I wanted to get your take on what's going on with fucking Ukraine, bro. What's going on over there? I know that, as always, the media is, spinning it, everything is so fucking beautiful.
Everybody spins it. My thing is this, man. Russia's gonna do their thing, and they're gonna do what they want to do. There ain't really nothing that's gonna stop them right now. The only thing that's ever stopped them before was, unfortunately, was us. We're the only. I mean, we're the only country in the world that there's nobody, not even alliance of countries in the world that could take us out. So as long as we could put that front up, people had to kind of stay on their P's and Q's. And unfortunately, with how we're seen in the media here lately and our leadership, people are getting mighty bold. Just like, Putin's like, I can go do what I want to do. North Korea can do their nuclear testing like they feel like. And China can do pretty much whatever they feel like doing because they just feel like there's nobody there to stop them.
Yeah, but do you think that what the media portrays of what's going on over there, you think it's very accurate or what? Because I don't watch the news anymore, but I just want to know what your take is. If you do watch the news.
I don't watch the news. I mean, I see it as it comes across, on Facebook or whatever. Do I think Russia's in Ukraine? I do, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
Do I think it's a full-on invasion? Not sure. Putin, from what I've seen, Putin's trying to claim that they're just there in case the U.S. sends troops into Ukraine to take over Ukraine.
Okay.
Is that what we're going to do? No. But like I said, Putin's going to do what he's going to do, but I don't believe either one side is right. So I don't think that it's all propaganda that says Putin's just there in case we want to go over there. And I don't think that he's trying to fully invade Ukraine. Either way, no one side is exactly right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think because we're over here thousands of miles away, we really have no idea exactly what's going on over there. I can tell you that the stuff I've seen of the civilians, they don't want them there.
I mean, we're seeing some atrocities, man. They think it's a mass grave of 7,000 or 8,000 people.
Right.
Right. So, I think. Listen, the only reason why I wonder about all this stuff, man, is because when we were at war, they always complained about us whenever we had committed some sort of atrocity, and it wasn't really very much. But to me, it just kind of goes to show you the difference between the American soldier and the Russians or anybody in Europe. I mean, we are always held to a higher standard. I mean, we had atrocities in Iraq and Afghanistan, but it doesn't even come close to what the hell's going on over there.
Okay, all right, everybody wants to spout off the this or that's against the Geneva Convention. It's a war crime. Okay. Yes, the Geneva Convention did exist. They did list a whole bunch of stuff that's war crimes that's you're not supposed to do.
Okay.
Now, here's the problem with the Geneva Convention.
Mm-hmm.
It only holds power as long as you decide to follow it. There is no single body that can enforce those rules.
Okay.
So, if, Russia or when, Syria was going through their stuff and they want to use chemical weapons, it's against Geneva Convention to use chemical weapons. It is. But who's going to enforce that? Because there's no single unified body that's going to enforce those things that are war crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Geneva Convention sounds great. And the problem is most civilians and even a lot of military people in the United States, they think it's a law like here.
Mm-hmm.
When you break the law, somebody's gonna no, because there's no single unified body to enforce it.
But I thought we did. I thought that this thing called the UN. I thought that's what the UN was for. I mean, it's
no. The UN is a loose alliance of people, of nations who talk together.
Yeah, they talk together.
And
exactly.
they have some UN troops where some nations provide troops to the UN for UN forces.
I think Russia's part of the UN, Wainwright, too.
But it doesn't matter because the UN doesn't have enough forces to enforce any of their regulations. So once one of the countries decides, you know what, I'm not going to follow that rule right now, I just don't feel like it, there's absolutely nothing the UN can do. Nothing.
So basically, it's a paper tiger,
Yeah.
I mean, we know a little bit about war, right?
Yeah.
We went to war. We know.
Oh yeah.
So, I think the thing is, if you look at the map, Russia basically has the way it's shaped. Russia is basically surrounding the Ukraine, right? And the reason why Russia wants, I mean, that's debatable. You can say, I've been saying that there's a reason why Putin is there. Does he want the natural resources? Or does he just believe that the Ukraine rightfully belongs to Russia? Because it used to be part of Russia at one point, right?
Both.
Think both?
Yeah. Well, he got his foot in the door mainly because of the two areas in the Ukraine that wanted to secede and join Russia again. Now, what I personally believe is if it's a free country in the Ukraine and these two areas were large enough and they actually really did want to join back up with Russia, I believe that a vote should have been held. And if, the majority of the people who lived in that area wanted to join back up with Russia, they should have been allowed. And anyone who was living in those areas that opposed it should have been allowed to leave. And then those areas could have been reabsorbed into Russia like they wanted to. Now, whenever you get past those regions into the part of Ukraine that wanted to stay free, that's when we run into the issue.
Okay.
I don't think you have a right to force your way into there to make them come back into Russia. But yeah, the Ukraine was part of Russia whenever it was all USSR. It was. I mean, there was a large part of the Eurasian continent that was part of Russia back then. But like I said, I don't have a problem with the part of Ukraine that wanted to be part of Russia again going to them. And that should have been handled, on the political side, not on the military side. But going into the part of Ukraine that wants to stay free, that's just not okay to me. That's because that's forced servitude.
Okay.
And us, in the United States, we don't... How do we put this? Most people in the United States have no idea what goes on in the rest of the world. They have no idea what people go through in the rest of the world. But the one thing that you can say about Americans is that as a whole, the people would rather die than be slaves. And so, because of that, I can never get behind a country forcibly taking over another country. You know what I'm saying? When they want to be free. I can't do it.
Listen, I don't think it's right either, but I think the media portrays this, and I've seen it. I see it on social media because now everything is about social media. You see this guy Zelensky, whatever his name is, seeing us like this great hero that's standing up for his country. And from what I understand, he was put into power by Ukrainian oligarchs, right? So he's not this fucking nice guy. He used to be an actor, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know nothing about his history. Right?
It's just nothing is what it is, man. It's the same thing when we were in Afghanistan or even Iraq is, you never really thought about, all these caravans and all these supply things that we used to be part of because the importance of having product anywhere you go in the country. I mean, that was a big deal in Afghanistan. The truck drivers that were coming in and out of Pakistan and other parts, how important that is. And when you stop that, what a problem that becomes. It's like, those are like the, infrastructure issues that nobody really talks about or nobody really ever sees because they really weren't over there. Like, we were in a war zone, right? So we got to see different things, different parts of Afghanistan, right?
Right.
And we started to see what the effect that we had on helping them with the infrastructure. As far as like the roads, plumbing, sanitation, electricity, right?
Right.
So I think that people are so caught up in what the social media gives them or what they see in the news because like I've said before, you have some woman with a Kalashnikov holding an AK saying that she's going to protect her land or she's going to protect her country. You know damn well if fucking 50 dudes come into your town and they're loaded to the teeth, that shit, you can romanticize that shit all day long. Those people are going to go in, they're going to start fucking stacking bodies. And that fucking chick, she's either going to give up or she's going to get fucking raped. Right? Like, she ain't going to fight till the death. Like, people romanticize war. War, and you know this, war is not what you see on television.
No.
War is cruel and ugly.
You know what? You're right. It is. But also, you have to think, too. Like, if you think back to the American Revolution, right? The British Army was one of the best, if not the best, militaries in the entire world at the time.
Okay.
Right? And then the British colonists, because at the time that's what they were. They were British colonists. They weren't Americans. They were British colonists. And that's what they considered themselves. We're British.
Yeah.
So at the time, they were all British colonists who, served in, little local militias and stuff. But these weren't professional soldiers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. But yet they won against one of the best trained armies in the world. Now, and what you're saying about war is true. It is. But the one thing that you always have to take into account when it comes to war is the fact that soldiers will fight and do their duty. Okay? And those soldiers who fight and have a real sense of duty and honor and country, they will fight to the death, whether it's on a foreign soil or their homeland. But no one fights as hard as somebody who's fighting for their home.
Yeah.
So whereas in a lot of situations somebody would turn tail and run, right? Or throw down or not fight until they're dead and give up. Well, now they will because they're fighting for their home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a different thing then. So I think that's got a lot of fuel to the fire in why Ukraine is putting up the kind of fight they're doing. And as far as Zelensky being, put in power by the oligarchs and whether he was an actor or not. I don't know. I don't know his history. I don't know his past. But
I'm just saying that they're making this guy seem. I don't
know
this fucking guy.
I don't know him either.
Right?
So I don't know if he's a hero. I don't know.
Or he's a piece of shit. We don't really know.
We don't know. I can say that if he's actually going out there and fighting with the troops, if he is or if he's not, I don't know. But I can say that if, as the president of the Ukraine, if he's actually going out there, putting on body armor and fighting with troops, I have to give respect for that.
Yeah, man. But come on, man.
Okay.
How many times do you see that? It's just
you
for
don't.
Show. It's like reporters being in the green zone, right?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if it's for show, I'm not giving respect. But if he's actually going out and fighting, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't believe that shit. I think it's all propaganda.
I don't know.
It's all propaganda.
It might be all propaganda.
You know?
It might be.
Listen, man, it's the same stuff when we would see fucking reporters in Iraq or Afghanistan.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And you're watching, you're thinking, damn, they're in danger. Like, no, they're not in fucking danger.
No,
It's some fucking big base in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know?
I got you.
So, I'm just like...
But I'm just saying, I don't...
Listen, the world made a big deal whenever there was whenever we committed an atrocity, whether it was Iraq or whether it was Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. I remember in Afghanistan where this fucking guy, this is during my second deployment to Afghanistan, where this guy basically lost it. No, I think it was my first. He lost it. He was attached to special forces. He left his fucking cop and killed like 15 innocent civilians. Mm-hmm. He just fucking lost it, you know? Like, he just checked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's terrible. Right, there was another one where there was this basically scumbag fucking specialist who was doing like, I think, tower duty or something in some fucking small cop in fucking the middle of Iraq, and basically raped, killed a girl, and killed his family. And he got away with it for a little while, and then eventually he got caught, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm not justifying, if we do if a soldier does something like that, of course, we should fucking try him. We should fucking put him away for life. What I'm saying is, I think that there's a double standard in the world. These fucking people are killing people left and right, and nobody's fucking doing anything about it. And it happens to us, and we're the biggest fucking pieces of shit in the world, right?
Right, but you also have to remember, how do I put this? You also have to remember that for the past almost 100 years now, all right, not in the beginning of our country, but since 1945, since the end of World War II, the United States, really since the end of World War I, so you really can say for the last 100 years, the United States has been the gold standard for how a country should be run and operate and do their business overseas. Am I telling you our country's never done wrong? No, not in the slightest. We've done all kind of messed up stuff. But as a whole, through the whole time period, the amount of messed up stuff we've done versus other countries is minuscule. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So the United States has been like the gold standard for 100 years. And I'm sorry, whenever you're the gold standard for 100 years, people are going to hold you to that, and they're going to chastise you more when you do mess up. Even if it's smaller than what other people do, they're gonna almost like rake you over the coals for something minor, whereas other people, they get like a slap on the wrist for something that's way worse. Yeah. Because they're not the gold standard. You are. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, think about it. You went to Iraq, right?
No, it was Afghanistan.
Just Afghanistan twice? All right. All right. So, I've been to Kuwait before 9/11 happened. I've been to Iraq, and I've been to Afghanistan. So, I've seen all three of those countries, right? And I can tell you this.
How long were you in Kuwait for?
4 or 5 months. It was after Saddam invaded for Desert Storm, right? We built the Doha army base over there, and then we would keep troops out in the desert in the Kabul, what I think later became Buring. We would keep troops out there in case Saddam tried again. Okay. So the regular army would just rotate troops out through there about every 4 or 5 months, right? So I had to do like a 5-month stint out there back in like 99.
Was it fun or was it cool or what? Or did it suck? I know fucking Kuwait is like hell, man. It's fucking hot as fuck.
The hottest day we saw was like 148, 158, something like that. It was hot, dude. Yeah, it hurt to breathe.
It's horrific over there.
Yeah, I hated that. But, because it was summertime when I went. That sucked. But, the point I'm making is like, I've seen the people in these countries, right? And in America, we have people who complain about all kind of stuff, and they're like, look at what our soldiers did. Our soldiers did this and that's wrong. And then we have soldiers who do good things, and yet we vilify them for it. Like we had that one spec ops, I think he was a captain or a colonel. There was some ANA or ANP that had they were abusing a little boy, and he went and he beat the whole guys that was abusing the little boy. Yeah. And then he got like kicked out for it. He got like court-martialed.
Okay.
You remember?
I remember that. He was an SF guy, right?
Yeah, he was SF. Yeah. But he like whooped all the guys for doing something that in our country would put you in jail for decades.
Yeah.
So he whoops them all to teach them a lesson and turns them in, but yet he gets vilified and court-martialed.
Oh, man. I mean, how many people should be in Afghanistan right now for pulling out of Afghanistan? I mean, that's just criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Like, how many politicians should be in jail right
exactly. Now? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things that the American people will go, oh, no, that's fine. And then other ones, they're like, no, that's horrible. And we're like, but you got it all backwards. They've got it completely backwards. And that's why when we look at these other atrocities and people go, oh, that's not that bad. But whenever you think about it, those of us who've gone to war, we're like, no, that right there, that should be, we should do something about that. That's not okay. You know what I mean? But we can't. We can't because we don't have the bluff that we used to have. We can't look at somebody and say, if you do this, we're going to come beat you like a redheaded stepchild, because we don't have somebody in power that they believe will do it.
Yeah, but leadership is a big issue now. I think if anything, this has got to be the worst time to be in the fucking army right now, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
I think everything it was just fucked up. I mean, they finally let women into the infantry, which that's fucking doomed. Like, how are you going to make a social experiment with the fighting forces? Like, oh, come on, man. Like, what's going on? Like, war's about winning.
Yeah.
And we're built for war. Men are built for war. Okay? So, I mean, I don't...
Now, I'll be honest with you. I was in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I signed my first contract in 95. In December of 95. Not quite that old. But yeah, December of 95. Mm-hmm. And then I retired in December of 2016. In all that time, I met some female soldiers and Marines, not really any Navy, but some female soldiers and Marines that I would tell you that I would say, yes, they could go infantry.
But that's fine.
100%.
Man. That's fine.
But the problem is, the one problem I have with it, and the one problem I've always said is, if you want to give them access to the infantry, if you want to give them access to special forces, you want to give them access to Rangers, SEALs, all of that, that's fine. I'm 100% okay. Give them access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. The one thing you can't do, though, is change the standard.
Yeah, but they've already done that.
I know, and that's the part I don't agree with. I'm like, you got to give them access. I agree with that, but you can't change the standard, because as soon as you change the standard, then you have just taken that elite group, and people don't believe it, but yes, infantry in the Army is elite compared to the rest of the Army. 1% of the entire Army can actually really make the infantry and really do it like it should be done. It's not the whole Army. They can't do it. You know what I mean? and even only like 1% of them can make it through like Rangers and Special Forces, and so those are even higher elite groups. And so instead of changing their training and their standards, you just find the women who want to go through it and do it up to standard.
Okay, the problem with that, man, is I remember when we would be next to, let's say, a transportation unit, they had absolutely no military bearing at all.
I know.
And the reason why we never had any sexual harassment, even though we had these fucking endless classes about sexual harassment, is because we didn't have any fucking women. That was not a fucking issue. So whenever we came around like these fucking support units, it looked like it was in the fucking club all the time, while we were just soldiers, because there was nothing but a bunch of fucking dudes. I mean, obviously we had our own fucking shenanigans. We never had any fucking problems with fucking women. And you know what happens when you get fucking women involved. When you get fucking women involved, guys want to fuck women, and vice versa. And that's the fucking problem, man. That's the fucking problem. That's why I think it's a bad idea. We keep saying, well, there are women that can make it. That's fine. But to me, I think it's a fucking distraction, man.
It is for the bad soldiers. I'll be honest with you. It is for the bad soldiers. Because when we were in Afghanistan in 2009, we were up in Kunduz, a little fob. Mm-hmm. It was just our company with our support guys. So it's about 120 people, right? So you're talking like all guys, all dudes, except we had 3 females at one time, and then they rotated out, and I think maybe once there was 4 females on there.
And they were getting hit on left and fucking right.
2 of them were. And 2 of them caused issues with, but they did it with the bad soldiers. Like, it weeded out the bad soldiers that were already problems. You know what I'm saying?
Did any of them get caught boning or what?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. How many times? Twice? 3 times?
No, multiple times.
All the time.
But what I'm trying to say is, not only does that, those women were not good soldiers, right? The ones that got caught. Now, not 2 of the women that were on our post never ever got caught up in that stuff. There was 4 different women over the time. 2 of the women that were on our fob never got caught up in that, right? 2 of them did. But the 2 that did, the ones that they got caught up with, were all the crappy soldiers anyway. Mm-hmm. That were going to get in trouble anyway. The ones that were sneaking in, liquor and stuff anyway. So, to me, yeah, the women thing is a distraction, but it's only a distraction for the crappy soldiers. But that's just me. As long as you don't change the standard. But if you change the standard, then you just lost your advantage. So it's a double-edged sword. It really is. If
you're an average-looking chick and you go and you deploy, you fucking go from a 5 to a fucking 9.5. And you're getting all sorts of attention from all kinds of guys. Why? Because, well, back then, we weren't around a lot of women. So when we saw women, I mean, everybody, they're men. I don't know, man. Like I said, I've gone back and forth. I don't really think it's any good. I don't really think they belong there. I think they should do other jobs. I don't know.
I was on a big fob. I was on big fob in Iraq because I was on Striker, and I was at Talil. Mm-hmm. So there was always lots of women. There was Air Force on Talil. There was Air Force on Striker a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I was actually single during Iraq. Mm-hmm. And me and a lot of the soldiers that I knew that were good soldiers, I don't know, it never even crossed our minds. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The ones that I know that were there to do their jobs and do what we're supposed to do, it never even crossed our minds to even cross that line. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I said, you're always going to have crap soldiers. You can't help it. The Army, the Marines, we're still humans. So you're still going to get some crap people in there. You know? They're not perfect. So, yeah, you're going to get some of them that do the stupid stuff. But,
I mean, I know for a fact on my second deployment, we were attached to an MP company. and there was definitely stuff going on. And it was basically the younger female soldiers were basically talking to like E6s, mainly E6s and E5s.
I know.
You know? And it was definitely happening.
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely happening. Whether good or bad, I mean, if they could get it in, they got it in.
It's not good. I'm not saying it's a good thing that it happens, right? And I think that, you know, when they make the rule, you know, because in both campaigns where I was, they had the rule. There's no... They don't care that even if you're a married couple that's deployed and you end up on the same base in Iraq or Afghanistan, there was supposed to be absolutely zero sex, period. You know? Because if a female comes up pregnant, she's no longer, you know, a war asset. She now has to go home. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. It seems like I saw that all the time. Even at Camp Shelby, it was, like I said, transportation units where, let's say it was E4. She was basically messing around with the platoon sergeant.
Oh, yeah. I'm not telling you.
Remember that big, real tall guy?
Yeah.
Remember he was messing around with that E4? What was the name of that fucking big guy? He was a big old country boy. He was at headquarters. You were an Alpha Company, man, but there was some shit going on over there.
Oh, there was.
For sure.
I'm not telling you it doesn't go on, right? I'm telling you that it's not supposed to, and the problem is that when it does go on, instead of enforcing the rule the way it's supposed to be done, which is when it happens, bam, you're both hit, you both lose rank, you both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just cherry pick who's going to get in trouble. You know what I mean? And because of that, it keeps going on. But that's the problem. It's too much of the nobody does what they're supposed to do. Again, that's the whole, we get back to the how can people commit these atrocities and nothing happen because there's nobody to enforce it. You know, just like when, you know, people break certain rules in the military and the military wants to pick and choose who they're gonna prosecute for it, then it just fosters more rule breaking. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I got at least 3. I think I had 5 Article 15s in my military career.
But what were they for?
I don't remember what they were all for, but I can guarantee you this: I earned every one of them.
Yeah, I'm saying shit. I was no fucking angel.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I never got any, but
like,
it's not because I was this great soldier. I just didn't get caught.
Yeah, but
that's all it was.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we all do stuff. We either get caught or we don't. But the thing was, like, when I got my Article 15, I didn't sit there and go, "Oh, what was me?" Blah blah blah. No, I did something wrong. They caught me, so I was like, "Yep." I stepped in at that time. I'll take my little, 15 days extra duty, half month's pay, whatever. Because you caught me stepping in it, and that's what it was. But you get too many folks who don't do that, and then you end up with the soft stuff like we get now.
I mean, like I said, man, this thing in Afghanistan should be a crime, and nobody really even...
God,
they start talking about it. Like, nobody says anything
about it.
Nobody
says anything about it anymore. Nobody talks about the fact that we had interpreters who suited up in body armor daily. Daily. We went out on missions 6 days a week. And interpreters went out with us on every mission. They put on body armor every time we drove outside that gate. And some of those interpreters had been doing this for 2 years before we even got there.
Yeah.
And yet, you told them that if you do this, we're going to help you get to the United States, if that's what you want. And we're going to help you work on getting your citizenship so that you can get out of this.
Yeah.
And then, what do? They do the same thing to them that they do to their regular soldiers. When they got what they wanted to out of them, they're like, "Oh, fight that battle on your own." Not my problem anymore. I got what I wanted. Now you can fight the red tape and see if you can get here. And that's just...
I mean, I know a few Terps that actually made it out.
I know a couple.
I think there's a lot of them in like West Virginia, from what I understand. There's I guess either a bunch of I know a bunch of Afghans for sure in West Virginia.
I mean, I know a couple of them who got out. Like, I only know a couple of them from my tour. You know what I'm saying? I know a couple of them who got out. I know a couple other Army buddies who know a few who got out. But I can guarantee it's not even 25% of the people that were promised, hey, you work with us, we're going to help you out. It's not even 25% of them.
I'm sure.
And you can't... What's going to happen the next time we have to go into, a country like Afghanistan or something and do something like that, where we need interpreters to go outside the wire with our guys every day?
I don't think that's going to happen for a very, very long time.
It might not, hopefully, but let's say it does. Let's say it happens in another 10 years. In another 10 years, we're in another war where we have to have interpreters like we do in Afghanistan and Iraq, right? We got to have interpreters to go outside with your guys every day. How are you going to entice them people to go outside with your guys and not leak information to the enemy and stuff? Tell them you're going to help them get to the United States. Who's going to believe that shit?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, the fact that we gave all that military hardware to the Taliban, they're sending all that shit to China and Russia. They're basically re-engineering our stuff.
Billions of dollars of equipment just left there.
Yeah, this is like a second Vietnam to us. I mean, that
we didn't even leave that much equipment in Vietnam.
They let us down, man. These fucking pieces of shit. All these fucking politicians, man. That's why, listen, the older I get now, I'm beginning to think, fuck, maybe it is about the military-industrial complex, because now they got to make more shit. Now they got to make more M8TVs, right? More Max Pros, right? More money for the war effort. I mean, come on, man. Like, you can't tell me that we couldn't withdraw and do it strategically. We just left.
No. Of course we could have.
Right?
I can guarantee you we could have withdrawn and done it strategically. I guarantee it.
I mean, but that's what's so shameful, man. These are the people that are running our country. I mean, it's like, dude, you think like, dude, they couldn't even fucking run a kindergarten class with the fucking shit they're fucking pulling. It's fucking retarded, man.
But you got to think who was in control.
I mean, what do you think of what's going on with
Who was in control, though?
As far as like the president or the
all over
the Democrats?
Yeah.
I mean,
Biden.
Right,
so the Democrats were in control of the House and the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they were the president.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you know what? Screw everybody. Just bring everybody home, leave all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who made that decision. Now, if you watch, before they did that, every military analyst with half a brain and every conservative or wannabe conservative politician with half a brain said, hey, look, y'all can't do that. We gotta do this over time and bring our stuff back. You can't just leave everything over there.
Yeah.
And they were just ignored. You know what I'm saying? They were just ignored.
Mm-hmm.
So, 100%, we could have done it and made it strategic and got everything home. We've done it before.
Yeah.
We didn't leave billions of dollars of equipment in Iraq.
No.
No. So we 100% could have done it. We've got the best logistics in the world for the military. We can put our military in any spot on this entire planet that we want to go. Our entire military. Anywhere on this planet that we want to go. We are the only country that can do that. So you're not telling me that we couldn't have got the stuff out. And nobody's going to believe that we couldn't have got it out. Everybody knows we could have.
Mm-hmm.
And we should have. And all the people with half a brain argued that we shouldn't have left it. But the other people were like, nah, we don't need it. Just get everybody out.
Yeah. I mean, the MATVs are like $500,000 just on MATVs. $500,000, man. Max Pros, I think they're even more. I think they're like $700,000. Just, dude, it's embarrassing, man. I mean,
it's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's absolutely freaking stupid. The stuff that they've done, and that's one of the reasons why I'm worried. I really am. That's gets back to the point of what I was saying about, Putin and China and North Korea. We don't have the bluff capability anymore. Like, he wasn't a good person. He made mean tweets and he's not super smart. But when Trump was in office, if people started to act up, he's like, I'll do it. I'll nuke you. Did they really think he's going to nuke them? No. But they knew there's like that 5-10% chance that he's going to shoot that missile. And that's enough. That's enough of a bluff to go, you know what? He just might do it. So let me kind of chill out a little bit. That's also why he's the only president that's been to North Korea and came back. And that's nothing happened. Because he was like, I'm going to come over there. And he said, if anything happens to me, North Korea's going to be glass. So y'all better be on your P's and Q's.
I mean, you said it. He should have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize just for that alone. I mean, nobody's ever done that. I mean, didn't Obama get the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yeah. Do I think he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize for it? I don't know. Maybe. But the whole point that I'm making is the fact that if you don't have somebody in leadership at the top of a military that literally, if we had to, honestly, if we had the right leadership at the head of our government, like the right leadership with the right mind as the president, right, and the right politicians in power, if we had to go to country against the entire world at once, there is a strategy where we could beat the entire world against us. There is a strategy. It's hard. It would be hard to do. And we would catch a lot of losses. But we would come out on top. Okay? So whenever you've got a military like that, you don't need somebody in there that's a Kim Jong-un, or a Putin, or whoever the leader of China is. You just need somebody in there who's got just enough nuts and just enough loose up top that when he says, I'll nuke you or I'll come invade you if you don't do what you're supposed to do, that they go, you know what? He just might do it.
I mean, the economy was definitely a lot better under Trump. I mean, we have inflation right now. Fucking gasoline is fucking ridiculous.
Oh my God.
This fucking guy, I think he fucking shits himself, in a fucking, on a daily. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's fucking lost, man. Like, I think fucking the Democrats are going to take a fucking hard fucking hit during the elections, man.
Oh, they're fixing to lose big in the elections.
I mean,
but here's my thing. I don't like talking bad about sick people. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to understand that I'm not actually talking bad about the fact that Biden is sick. The fact that he has dementia or whatever the hell is going on up there, right? He's either got dementia or he's senile or something.
But
okay?
It's not just that, man. It's the incredible corruption, man. It's the corruption.
But what I'm saying is about Biden, though, he's either senile or he's got dementia. So I'm not making fun of that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is the people who are up there in Washington who allow this man to get out in front of people, in front of the public, and act the way he does, knowing the problems he's got, those people should be put in jail.
And ignorance is bliss, man. It's bliss. I mean,
Those people should be put in jail for what they put that man through.
Then he got more votes than Obama. He beats Trump. Nobody questioned that. Nobody questioned the election. I mean, not a lot of people did. I mean, they spoke about it briefly. The fucking, what's his name? The vice president fucking threw Trump under the bus, man. I mean, listen, I don't want to go back because it was such a long time ago, but it's not like I was a fucking diehard Trump fan, but I mean, like you said, the country was in a much better position. The economy was good. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault for where we were as a country.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is not a role model for your children at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the slightest. But he did good at his job, which is all we're supposed to ask of a president is do your job good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Your personal life is your personal life. But just like you were talking about with Zelensky being the actor, one of our best presidents ever was an actor, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, he was.
He started as an actor. And he actually started as a leftist. And then he figured out once he got into politics that, wait a minute, leftists don't work. That's when he switched over to conservatism.
Well, he said he said he didn't leave the Democratic Party, the Democratic left.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like he was conservative as far as government is viewed, but he was liberal in his social policies. You know what I'm saying? He believed in a lot of liberal social stuff, but government should be small. And that was a true classical liberal. But the Democratic Party left him, and that's why he became, a Republican. And he was one of the best presidents we ever had. Yes. And he started as an actor. So, I can't knock Zelensky if he did start as an actor. But like I said, also, I don't know if he's doing the stuff they said he's doing. We don't know. But all I'm saying is this stuff is getting ridiculous. You can't trust hardly anything you see. You can't trust hardly anything you hear.
Nothing at all, man. Nothing
because
at all.
They control.
It's all skewed, man.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's either skewed too far left, too far right. I am, and I don't know who your audience is that listens to these things, but I am a constitutionalist. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Mm-hmm. I am a constitutionalist. Mm-hmm. What that means is, if there is a law or a statute that was not either written into the Constitution or was not in the what's the word I'm looking for here? In the spirit of what the Constitution meant when it was written, then I don't believe that law should exist. Mm-hmm. So, like, were black men free when the Constitution was written? No. But should they have been? Yes.
Yeah.
When the Constitution was written, we outlawed slave trade. Mm-hmm. We did not import any more slaves after 1780. I think that was the moratorium on it when the Constitution was written. I forget. You have to look that up. It was in the 1700s that we said we will no longer import slaves into this country. Very shortly after we wrote the Constitution and became a country. Then we stopped the slave sale between states early 1800s. So that even if it was a slave state and you had slaves on your plantation, you couldn't sell them. So that would keep the families together. So we had, from the time we were birthed as a country, we had started moving that out. So to me, every law that got rid of that and gave equal rights to everybody, including women, that's all part of in the spirit of the Constitution. So even though it was originally in there, it's in that spirit. You know what I'm saying? So those laws stay. However, income taxes. That's a gray area, right? The government having to give you a license to sell fruit on the side of the road. No, that's not in there.
Yeah.
The government have to give you a license to have a business to sell goods that you make. That ain't in there. The government should have next to no impact on average citizens' lives. Zero. all the government's job should be on the federal level is to make sure that the states all use the same money, and that if you have a driver's license in Georgia, it's good if you drive all the way to California. If you're married in Georgia, you're married in California. That's what the federal government is for. People don't understand. We say it's the United States of America and we're a country. Yes, we are. But if you really look at the way it was written, the federal government, we're really written as a conglomeration of 50 small countries.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes this country so great, is because definitely with what's going on in California, we don't put up with that fucking bullshit. So
right.
What's happening? People are leaving California and they're either coming here,
right,
or they're going to Texas.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But the problem that you're having with that now is you're getting all these fucking liberals that are coming into our state, and then eventually they're going to fucking turn our state into fucking California.
Well, they might try it.
And it's
right?
happening. I mean, and
it does happen sometimes, and they might try it. But what I'm saying is, the great thing about it, and like I'm saying is, most people don't understand is, we call it, the United States of America, and we call it a country. But even our own people don't understand that if we were to do the government the way it says, the federal government really and truly is only there to make sure that these 50 decent-sized countries all get along, never go to war, and all use the same money.
No, man, but like I said, man, you look at places like New York, places like, New York, you can't even carry a fucking gun, man. And they
now that's got struck down here lately.
Okay, but what about Chirac? It seems like and listen, I guess I'm right in the middle, but every fucking shitty state where we have violence, they're run by Democrats, man.
They do. They are. But see, here's the deal, though. That's the great thing about America. Like you just said, if they want to run their place like that, you have the right to leave.
Yeah.
And you can leave, and you don't have to get a passport to go from Illinois to Indiana. Even though, really and truly, by the way we write our laws, Illinois and Indiana, honestly, are two separate countries. You know, no Illinois law has any hold over Indiana law.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're two wholly separate countries. The only thing the federal government's there to do is to make sure that these 50 countries get along okay.
Yeah.
And people don't see it like that. They think we're all one people. No. Because even if you look at it now, New York, if you go to New York, it is so different than going to Savannah.
Yeah.
Or even here in Atlanta.
Of course. Yeah.
Or Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Or Chicago.
Different mentality.
So it's like going to a whole nother country.
Different accents.
And people don't understand that, like, the United States, they go, oh, blah, blah. You'll take a 2-hour drive to go somewhere, won't you? That's not out of the realm of possibility to go somewhere that's 2 hours.
No.
And go for the day. Like, you're going to go somewhere, spend the day, and drive home. And it's 2 hours there, 2 hours back, right?
Yeah, I personally hate leaving Georgia. But, I
do. But no, I'm saying somewhere in Georgia.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Georgia, it's 2 hours away.
I try not to leave Georgia, But,
I
know what you're saying.
Georgia.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's here in Georgia. It's 2 hours away. There ain't many places that you could get to in 2 hours from Atlanta that are out of Georgia.
What about that new gun law? Did you hear about that?
Huh?
Did you hear about that new gun law?
Constitutional carry?
Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you think it's good or it's bad? I don't really have an opinion on it. I think people are already fucking carrying guns. I've told everybody, I've been to certain bars where you see people carrying and they're fucked up. They don't know that other people are carrying, but I see people carrying all the time that are fucking drinking.
I tell everybody this. I say, look, unless there is a legal reason that you cannot carry a firearm,
yeah, of course,
you should carry a firearm. Now, however, if you're not going to get properly trained to carry that firearm, don't bother.
That's more than half the people, man.
You're right. But I can't control what they do.
Yeah, I know.
I can give my advice. I can say, look, if you're not legally banned from carrying a firearm, you should carry. Now, if you're going to carry, you should get trained.
Yeah.
if you're not going to train, don't carry. But it's your choice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We can only give the advice. But I do say that if you're going to carry, go get training. If you're not going to carry, good luck. That's all I can say. But what a lot of people don't understand, like I said about the 2-hour thing, you drive 2 hours, go for the day and drive 2 hours home. You can cross almost the entire breadth of England in 2 hours.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay.
You can cross almost the entire breadth of France in 2 hours. That's what people don't understand. We get so used to the way things are in the United States that we really don't understand how small other countries are.
No, the Germans used to make comments about that when we brought Germans over after World War II, and they were like prisoners. They would put them on these trains, and the Germans would be like, God, this country seems like it just goes on forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, we really are 50 small countries with almost like our federal government really should operate more like what the NATO is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's really what our federal government is supposed to do. We're really supposed to be like 50 small countries that all use the same money and use the same. If you got this in this state country, it works over here too. You know what I mean? And that's what it's supposed to be. But people don't realize that. People don't realize that you can start in Texas, drive for 12 hours, and still be in Texas.
I got you. What do you think about, don't you think it's kind of, well, not kind of, but to me, I think it's a fucking joke, this whole thing with all of a sudden fucking coronavirus just fucking disappeared. What happened with that?
Fuck that shit, man.
What's going on with that? What do you think about that, man? Like, people want to know. Like, I still want to know. Like, I want answers. What the fuck? Like, how come all these fucking people were put out of business for something that never was, man? It never was. It was a lie. The whole thing was a lie.
It was control. It was control to wrest power away from the conservative side. All right. I'm not saying that coronavirus didn't exist. It did. Mm-hmm. It did kill some people. It sure did. Mm-hmm. But because so little was known about it, I think a certain group of people saw an opportunity to blow it out of proportion that would cause the economy to tank. Mm-hmm. And if the economy tanks, then at the election, they're not going to lose their seats because they're not the president. They were Democrats. Mm-hmm. So if the economy tanks while we have a Republican president, well, Democrats aren't going to lose their seats too much. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So that happens, and then you get a Democratic president, and then they keep the control in place for power, so they can control other things. And then they kept pushing until finally it had to be overruled by the federal courts. The federal courts finally said, look, no more. You cannot require mask mandates. It is unconstitutional. You can't do it anymore. No other questions. Don't ask them. It's not constitutional.
I mean, I just see how people are so easily fucking influenced, man.
They are.
You put a mask over your face and all of a sudden that's supposed to, like, save your life. It's like,
no, it
doesn't make any sense, man.
I never really wore one unless I was going somewhere with the wife and kids and it was either wear it or you can't come in.
Yeah.
If I was by myself and they're like, wear it or you can't come in, I'm like, okay, I won't come in. Mm-hmm. But if like if I was taking the kids to Six Flags, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta wear it in Six Flags because I'm taking the kids.
You gotta play the game. I tried not to wearing it. I really didn't wear it for a while most of this shit happened. I was scared just like everybody else when it just started. But like I said, you start to see what's happening. You're like, this doesn't make any sense to me, man. This doesn't, not to mention that, man. Like, not to get on this thing with the veteran thing, but all the shit that we went through we went through in Afghanistan, all the shit that we were fucking breathing, fucking burning poop, All the stuff that we went through. You're telling me that didn't kill me, but now this is going to kill me.
Hold on. So, not only do we deal with the burn pits where they burn all the trash in Iraq and Afghanistan. Understand, they don't have landfills over there.
Yeah.
They have these big piles, and they use bulldozers. They pile all the trash up. That includes all the plastics, all the foam, all the rubber, everything gets piled in a pile outside the base.
Yes.
And then at some point, they go dump a lot of fuel on it and set it on fire.
Yeah.
And it burns for days. And while it's burning, you're breathing all that shit in. Yeah. So that's just that's how it goes. All right, so not only do you breathe all that in, all right, you get every vaccine known to man in the Army. All right, and they have a tendency to lose your shot records. So a lot of vaccines you get 5, 6, 7, 10 times. I know that I've personally been vaccinated with the MMR thing like 12 times.
The fuck's the MMR?
Measles, mumps, rubella.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten that vaccine 12 times, I know.
Yeah.
Right? You're only supposed to get it twice.
Yeah.
I've gotten it 12. Smallpox that we don't even vaccinate for in the United States, but we get it when we go to like Iraq and Afghanistan because it's still over there. So we get smallpox vaccine. I've got anthrax vaccine back in the 90s when it was experimental. When I was active duty, they gave us anthrax vaccine. You know, and that son of a gun was making soldiers sterile, so they quit using it. But I'm just saying, with all the junk that they make us put in our bodies as soldiers, they came out with this coronavirus, and I was like, funny. I ain't worried about that junk. If it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me. I've been to, the desert 3 times. 2 of those times were a war zone. I've been, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die.
That's how I see it. If that didn't kill me, this shit's definitely not gonna kill me. If I'm gonna
die, I'm gonna die. But I ain't wearing no mask for no stupid corona. It's no.
I mean, how many times in Afghanistan we were like in these cots and no shower, fucking basically lived in a fucking cave filled with dirt,
brushing your teeth with water out of the sink that you can't even swallow.
Yeah, I mean,
the water's so bad that they're like, you can brush your teeth with it, but make sure you spit it out because you cannot swallow this water. Or I'll give you one when we were in the Cabal, which is what they called it in Kuwait in 99 before 9/11. They had this big metal tank up there with just like shower heads screwed into the bottom of it. So you're taking a shower out there, right? Well, one day the water truck comes by and he's got to fill up the tank. So I'm up there to fill up the tank that day. I'm up there. I open the lid and I put the hose in. I look down in there.
No, but trash. What?
Oh, no. It's pretty clean. Except there's a darn lizard this long dead in the bottom of the water tank.
Oh, yeah.
Just dead.
Yeah.
In the shower water where we take a shower every day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We can't get it out.
God knows for how long it's been there.
Oh, you can't get it out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just going to stay there.
Yeah.
So why am I worried about some coronavirus? No.
So, yeah, man. So what else, man? Anything that you want to talk about or anything you're interested in? Because really, listen, man, at the end of the day, it's, you were asking like what this podcast is for. I mean, this is just basically a podcast for men. I want people like you. I want your input and your opinions because it seems like everybody in the world, especially the famous people, it seems like we have to listen to them to what they say, and what they say is gospel, which
right.
I think they're just as full of shit as everybody else. They're just famous. Oh
yeah.
I mean, is there anything that you're wondering about, that you have questions about? I mean,
no, I pretty much. Be honest, I pretty much stick to myself and kind of mind my own business on a lot of stuff. I will say this. I'll say a couple things that may help a couple of guys who watch this stuff. Number 1, if you're on pain meds and you take them every day, I have stopped taking my pain meds. I don't take any pain meds anymore. And no, I am not selling any specific brand or anything. Nothing. Okay? But just find somewhere locally for you that sells Delta 8 gummies.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere local for you that sells Delta 8 gummies.
Weren't you the one? Didn't you give me something like that? I don't know.
No, the ones I gave you weren't Delta 8. They were just CBD gummies to help you sleep for insomnia.
Yeah, because you gave me those one time. And
they helped. They knocked you out.
Dude, I was knocked the fuck
but now
out.
those were specifically to help you sleep.
Dude, I was knocked out in the shop, man.
Those were specifically to help you sleep. But now the ones that I take now, these are for the pain. And I quit, like I was taking 1,800 milligrams of gabapentin a day. I was taking cyclobenzaprine 3 times a day. I was taking naproxen. I was taking all kind of junk. I mean, I was taking all kind of pain meds.
I'm taking naproxen now.
You just find somewhere that has Delta 8 gummies. I don't care what brand. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell any brand or anything. I'm just trying to help somebody who's got chronic pain. Take them at night before you go to bed, about an hour, hour and a half before you're ready to lay down. Take them. Start at about 25 milligrams, and then you can go up from there to figure out what you got to get to for your pain level, and then you'll probably be able to get off all them pain meds you're on.
Do you miss the Army?
Oh my God, every day, but my body won't do it no more.
I miss being in the field, man. That's what I miss. I think that was the best time, even though it was a shitty time. Remember having to fucking go to Stewart?
But we all did it together.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It
was shitty. But we were all shitty together.
Everybody hated it, but yeah, it was after you got done with it, you were like, man, I felt like you accomplished something. You felt like you got something done.
We were all shitty together. That's the point. It was shit, but we were all shit together. You know what I mean? We all had to deal with it. We all went through it together, and that's why I said, I whenever I find something that's helped me, I'm not trying to sell nothing because I don't have any stock. I don't have any interest in this at all.
Yeah, no.
You know
listen,
what I mean?
Man, I'm glad you said that because at the same time, this podcast, we're 2 veterans. We're older. We're out. So we should try to, help the community out.
And especially if you're a little younger and you just got, little aches and pains, this stuff might be able to help you get through that and extend your time so that you can stay in a little longer. You know what I mean? The other thing I'll say is this. In 2019, I had a problem. I was drinking a lot. A lot.
What, beer? What?
Beer, liquor, a lot. Because I was hurting and I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
So I was drinking to sleep.
Yeah.
And one weekend I went home because I was working in Atlanta during the week. I went home on the weekends. One weekend I was at home and one of the mornings after being in bed, my wife looked at me and told me that I hit her in my sleep. I thought I had a handle on all of that, and evidently I didn't. So I started talking to the mental health folks at the VA, and that was in 2019. And I've been talking with them ever since. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you think you got a handle on it or not, talk with them.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, I didn't. Because I know now that I didn't. I'm in a whole different place now than I was then. So if you are having some difficulties, call them. If you don't have VA, that's fine. Talk to your Army mental health, whatever service you're in. If you're only a civilian, find somebody mental health that you can talk to, because there ain't no shame in it, and it'll help. Like I said, I'm in a whole different place now than I was then.
See, I know there's a lot of veterans that are turning to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, it's
it helps with the anger and helps with the helps.
Yeah, and it gives them that camaraderie that they miss from the military, you know? So I know a lot of guys, there's a thing called We Defy, which is a veterans organization that basically will put you in a school and they will pay for your school and they'll give you a gi. So yeah, anybody having any problems with that? I think diet too is a big issue. I went through some shit like about a month ago where I was just fucking drinking like a motherfucker and just drinking a lot of shit I shouldn't be eating. Dude, and I think I think it was basically there's when you have too much sugar in your bloodstream, your blood turns into like syrup. Well, you fucking start basically going crazy, and that's what I thought. I thought I was fucking losing my mind.
Right.
So now I'm watching what I fucking drink. I'm not drink because I'm the same way too, man. I was drinking like a shit ton of bourbon. You know, I was going through my divorce. Right. I was like fucking drinking like a fucking fish, man.
Oh yeah.
You know. So yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. There's no. I want everybody to understand this. You too.
Yeah.
There is absolutely zero shame in getting help. It takes some strength to admit to somebody that I need some help.
Yeah.
You know, it does. It takes strength to admit that.
Yeah.
And you know, me and my wife have been married almost 13 years now. Almost. And we don't fight, we don't cuss, we don't yell at each other. I really have a great wife. I really do. I don't deserve her. But we've never done that. So even whenever I was going through the bad time, she never like threw that in my face or anything like that. You know what I mean? She just kind of like dealt with it. And the only thing that made me see that I didn't have a handle on it was the fact that I lashed out in my sleep and hit her.
Yeah.
So that's what made me talk to the mental health people. Now that once I got to talking to them, that's when I realized, oh wait, I really was in a bad place.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't even realize it. So even if you're not sure, talk to somebody. I'm telling you, because it can help. It can. And
I mean, I feel the same way too. There's not a day that goes by that I don't miss the Army. I miss the Army all the time. I think we'll just never get that back. We just that connection that you have with other men, doing shit that's hard, you know, working all fucking day, getting your fucking ass kicked in every single day, being in the fucking field, you know, being cold, being wet, being tired, being hungry. Man, there's nothing like it in the world, man. It fucking builds character, and you actually get to see these guys that are supposed to be real tough. They turn into fucking pussies. Like, that's the best thing that I can think about being in the field is like, you saw these guys that are fucking PT studs, and then they'd get bit by a fucking, you know, a spider. Hard. Yeah, they'd get bit by a spider, and it was the fucking end of the world. It's like, dude, I definitely don't want to go to war with that fucking guy. But he was a PT stud.
And two, it's like this. You know, we were originally going to do this podcast about a month ago or so.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I had to cancel on you because my brother got in an accident. I called him my brother. He's my best friend. We've been friends almost 40 years. Okay. But I call him my brother because even when my kids were little, before he married my sister, right? Before he married her, even when my kids were little, they called him Uncle Kyle. He was always in their lives and everything. So, he's always been there. He's always been part of my family. I call his mom my mom. We grew up together, and but as close as me and him are, and for everything I do for him, which would include, you know, quit working up here and go down there and mechanic every day, even though my body's not supposed to do that. There are still things that I either wouldn't call him for, can't call him for, or if he were to call me, would not get the same response that if you were Cello, Archer, some of the other Army guys, if y'all called and said, hey, this. All right, I'm X hours away. I got to pack a bag, whatever. Give me till, this time. I'll be there. And even though we've been friends almost 40 years, there's things that I would do for y'all that I wouldn't do for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Of course, man. Of course. Like I said, I miss it all the time. Not the fucking Garrison bullshit. I hated bullshit.
Garrison. God.
But,
if Army was all field, it'd be better. I mean, it'd suck, but it'd still be better.
Even being deployed, man, I loved it, man.
God.
I kept putting in. I fucking loved it, man. I thought it was awesome. I made some of the best friends.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm not knocking the deployment. I'm just like, whew. I remember it's hard though.
I mean, when you're over there, you can't wait to get home, and then when you get home,
you're like, man, I need to go back.
I wish I was back. You know? So.
But yeah, if you have some people watch this and they ask, I'll go into it. If they ask and you want me to come back, I'll go into it next time. But if they ever want to know, I'm the only person you ever know of whose wife married his mama.
His wife married his mama?
My wife married my mama.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that your wife is very close to your mom? Is that what you mean, or no?
No. I mean, my wife literally married my mama.
What does that mean, though, man?
You want me to go into it now instead of waiting to see if people want me to come back and talk about it?
I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and tell me. What does that mean?
All right, so me and my wife were dating. Before we left for Afghanistan, I told her that I would marry her before Christmas. And we left for Afghanistan in June. Came home for leave in August. I was like the first group to come home for leave. And came home for leave. And I'm home for 2 weeks. And I know that once I go back, I'm done. I don't get no more leave, right?
Yeah.
And I done told her I was going to marry her before Christmas. And so I'm like, let's go get married. Let's go get married. Let's go get married. And she keeps saying, no. I'm like, so then we get to the airport. She drops me off at the airport. And then she calls me on my cell phone before I get on the airplane to come back. And she's like, if you'd have just drove to the judge, I'd have married you.
Yeah.
I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, all right, I got this. I'm going to fix you. And she said, what? And I said, don't you worry about it. So I called the Justice of the Peace in Ellaville, where I'm from, where she was living at the time. Which we still live there, but she was living there. And so I called the Justice of the Peace, and I was like, Miss Mitzi, can you get married over the phone? And she's like, well, technically, yeah. But there's a lot of paperwork. I said, send it to me. So I filled out all the paperwork, sent it back. And she filled out her part, took it to the Justice of the Peace. And so I was sitting in my PT clothes on the phone, talking to the Justice of the Peace on speakerphone, while my wife stood there with my mama in pro se, whatever they call it. So like my mama is me.
Okay.
So my wife married my mama.
I got you.
While I'm on the phone in my PTs in Afghanistan. And I'm the only person that ever got married over the phone and their wife married their mama.
That's pretty cool, man. That's cool. That's a cool story.
And we still married. Like I said, November will be 13 years.
Yeah. Listen, I became an American citizen in Afghanistan. I had to actually fly to, I think I was in, dude, I don't know where the fuck I was. Don Patan, I think.
Yeah.
With Hoffman. Remember Hoffman?
Yeah.
He was there. I think I was in Don Patan. I flew to Bagram to take my civics test. So, yeah, man, you do some crazy shit over there. And I think you do crazy things.
It's all about drive, dude.
In the Army, period, man.
Yeah, but it's about drive. It's like the Army teaches you, if you want something, right? it's not going to be give to you.
Yeah.
You have to make it happen. So, like, I told her I wanted to marry her before Christmas.
Yeah.
When it wasn't give to me on leave, right? I wasn't able to marry her on leave, and I'm going back over there, and there's no way I'll ever see her again before Christmas.
Yeah.
So what do I got to do? I got to figure out another way to hold up the fact that I said I'm going to marry you before Christmas.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And then you wanted to be a U.S. citizen. That's what you wanted. I want my citizenship. And then whenever it came time and you could get your citizenship, you're like, I'm all the way in Afghanistan. You know what? That's all right. We're going to figure out how to do that shit over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get my citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Hell, there was...
Well, I had a commander. My commander kind of pushed it, and I really appreciate him for that.
Well, yeah, but you wanted it. You did everything
me.
you had to do. You pushed for it.
Yeah.
That's just like there was two kids, the Rabakov brothers, who were in the Guard with me.
Mm-hmm.
This was before the Alpha Company thing.
Uh-huh.
They were younger, and they were from Russia,
mm-hmm.
and they were working on getting their citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they finally did get it. But I'm just like, you know, that's one thing I can say the military teaches you. If you do it right and you get good leaders, it's nothing is give to you. If you want it, you go get it. Make it happen. Nobody's going to just give it to you and say, here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can't remember how many times in my civilian life I always go back to the Army. I always say how thankful I am that I was in the Army, because there's so many things that I learned about the Army, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many bad things about the Army too.
Oh God, there's bad things about everything.
But there's so many good things about the Army that really just make you a better person. I think it makes you it makes you take, like you said, responsibility for what you do. Is especially if you fuck something up, it makes you say, "Dude, I did it. It's on me." Which I think today in society people have a hard time doing, man.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's always somebody else's fault. It's never your fault.
That's right? The hardest thing I had getting my children to learn. My oldest still hasn't learned it. My next oldest has. And my teenager's working on it. And my two younger ones that are 11 and 12, they're working on it. But that's what they're working on. It's like, I'm like, look, I need y'all to understand something. You will get way further in life. And if you're watching this and you don't know this rule yet, understand this. All right? No matter where you go or what you do, when you mess up, if you look at the person and go, my bad, I screwed up.
Yeah.
Let me fix it. You're going to get way further in life than you're ever going to get going, but it wasn't my fault. Even at times when technically it may not have been 100% your fault. Because sometimes it's not 100% your fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, I was late today because of traffic. No. You were late because you didn't leave with enough time to account for traffic.
Yeah, you didn't plan ahead.
So is it 100% your fault? No, it's not 100% your fault because there was traffic. But it's still at least half your fault, right? So you're better off to say, I'm sorry, I didn't leave early enough to account for traffic. My bad. I'll fix it next time. You know what I'm saying? It's always better to accept your responsibility and try to fix it than try to blame it on somebody else. Always.
Well, I think there's no better example. You know who Dick Winters is, right? From Band of Brothers?
Never watched it.
God, dog, you never watched fucking Band of Brothers?
I'm not big on military movies and shows because when I watch them, I just kind of pick them apart most of the time. I watch some of the stuff on the Vet TV because it's all spoof and funny, you know, because I just find it humorous. But like the stuff that's supposed to be like serious and really portray war and all of that, most of that stuff I can't watch it because I look at it and I'm like, that's wrong.
I saw The Cop. And I didn't really like it at first, so I stopped watching it because they had a scene where they showed them shooting the mortars, and the shit just looked fucking fake. And then they were in a cop, and their fucking uniforms looked clean. I was like, bro, if you're in a cop, you look fucking filthy. Your fucking IBA was just completely black. I know because I was in fucking Spare a Cop. I mean, everything was just black.
We were in a fob where we had like I said, that 120 people, right? And we had showers, like real indoor showers. And we had real indoor rooms with beds, so we wasn't living in tents, right?
It's still filthy.
And we had laundry service where we sent our stuff out to get washed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, not laundry service. We had laundry machines.
Yeah. We had that in Gardez.
You know, we had laundry machines.
Yeah, we had that.
But let me tell you something. Your stuff, it was still nasty. Because it's going to get dirt from the moment you walk outside. That stuff's going to get dusty. And then whenever it ain't dusty, it's going to get wet and then dirty. And so then it's muddy. You know, from the sweat and everything, and it's stained, and it gets grease or gun lube or whatever all over it. So yeah, it looks like shit.
Yeah.
So no, you ain't fit to have no nice, pretty uniform. No, that ain't fit to have.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm the same way too. But whatever. Point being is, Dick Winters talks about being in. This is Fort Benning. This is like in the fucking 40s. He had to get to a certain class. Now he was a lieutenant at the time. And he was like 5 miles away from the place that he had to be at. So basically, the fucking bus didn't show up, and he showed up late to class, and they asked him, dude, why were you late? He said, dude, the bus never showed up. He said, dude, that's not my problem. I said, you're fucking late. That's your fault. I said, if you knew the fucking bus didn't show up, your ass should have ran fucking 5 miles to where you were trying to get to. So that's a perfect example of the Army always teaching you lessons that, to me, I think it was always my fault. Whenever I was in a leadership position, I always thought it was my fault. It wasn't me, it was the Army. That's what the Army taught me, right? Now that I'm a businessman, it's the same thing. If something's a problem, even if it's not my problem, or even if it's not my fault, it's my fault.
Most of the time, yeah.
Because I'm the leader.
Yeah.
It falls on me. I have to take the fucking hit. But like I said, this coddled society that we live in, no, it's never my fault. It's always somebody else's fault.
Nobody nowadays is willing to say, look, I stepped on my dick. It won't happen again.
Exactly. All right, brother. I think we've kind of hit it all. We've been we are at 1:30. We'll definitely have to do another podcast. I'll find some fucking maybe something different to talk about. You know, I just wanted to get your I wanted to get your take on Ukraine. That's what I'm asking everybody. I want to know what the fuck is going on over there.
I don't know. I don't think we will know. I think the only way to know is to go there, but I can't do that. I can't afford that fucking ticket.
All right, well, like I said, don't trust the media. And, this is just a perspective from, like, fucking two old vets. Like I said, I wanted to get Wainwright's perspective. But, hey, man, thanks for coming over.
No problem.
We'll definitely have to do it again. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. We'll see you soon. This is For the Old Breed. We are out. All right, brother. Good stuff. Thank you. That was good.